I'm just wondering, how do you see these teachings speaking to the experience of the communal aspects of grief?
There's a passage by the Pure Land monk and poet Shinran where he says, "This happened, now something else can occur." It's kind of straight out flat. If we recognize the truth of change and we're able to be present to that, we can recognize that change
Mm.
is constantly happening. If we acknowledge what is and make contact with the grief that there is, that gives us the capacity to make change because the only power is really in the present moment.
I just finished up a teaching a death class, and you were speaking in it, which my students so appreciated. And in reflecting on our conversations,
Mm,
there was some very meaningful discussions and thoughts around what is being experienced right now as communal grief. And
yeah.
so I have a question for you, maybe a question slash statement. What shifts when we understand grief is communal? What can be done?
One thing I think happens is it puts our own struggles in a bigger light. It gives us
Mm.
context. It also gives us resources for holding the grief for a bigger container.
Mhm.
I have a friend who had a little bit of difficulty with substances. You know, when grief happens in a collective setting, it can be healthy and protective because of the oxytocin that keeps the heart healthy. And by entering into the descent of grief and the sorrow, we're able to get to the resources there, which is sometimes need for repair and tangible action. And without that, then the sorrow can become numbness. Like you said, it can become depression, anxiety, but it also becomes grievance. What Francis Weller said that really resonates for me is the backside of the wounded child is the angry adolescent. So prolonged disassociation is one effect of not processing grief, but anger is the other, the grief to grievance cycle. If we're
Mm. So there's the kind of more communal global grief that we're experiencing day to day, and then there are personal wounds, and that those can be connected.
those definitely can be connected.
Mhm. Mhm. And if we don't pause to recollect and make space for that, then we run the risk of projecting that.
That's right.